In this video, I'm going to show you how to create your first Python project in Visual Studio Code. Now, first, where am I? I am on the War desktop from Workspace, and I'm going to start up Visual Studio Code and launch it. Now, I'm going to change some settings once it appears on the screen in that, so I'll quickly maximize it and also change some settings in the editor. So I'm going to go here, File, under Preferences. I'm going to change the color theme, and I'm just going to go to a lighter theme and the default light. I like some of the settings there. I find it records better on the screen. Also, for myself, I will change some of the preferences on the editor. So text editor, if I expand this, I'll find font, and by default font size 20, just so it's easier to see what I'm typing. Now what I'm going to do now is go back to the editor. So a quick thing is to click on the Explorer part and get that there. I'm going to close the settings tab. I'm going to create a Python file. Now what I'm going to do is we'll always start by opening up a folder. And so the folder doesn't exist yet, but we'll take care of that. So I'll open up a folder, and I'm going to go to Z var gist 7010. This is a folder I made earlier with the batch files. So I'm going to go down to Workspace Desktop. In here, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'll use a naming convention. So it will always start for the module. So this is module 01. This is sort of a tutorial, so I'll call it TUT 01, and I'll give it a name, and I'll just call it Hello World. There we go. So this is the folder that I'm interested in, and I'll select a folder. And so that's going to sort of conceptually open up my Python project. So my Python project for this course will always start with a folder, and then the file that we will add will be main.python. So I'll just save this first. Save or Control S, and it's going to put it down into this folder, and I'm going to call it main.py. So I'm just going to close this right now, some of these messages that are popping up. Now, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some comments, standard header comment. And I can open this up in Visual Studio Code as well. So I'll open up a file, and I'm just going to go up a little bit. I've already copied some files over into my mod1 data one, and there's a snippets folder, and I'm going to grab the header one, and I'll just go Control A, Control Copy. Notice how this is a comment based on single line comments, and it knows to color it green. So I'm going to go back to my main py and put that in, and I'll just get busy putting my name on here. If you're following along, put your name in, and a little bit of contact info. And purpose, simple print statements. So we can see, how do you get a message to the user? No real dependencies yet. We're not using any extra libraries. We're just using what's sort of built in. And I'll change the year, month, date, and put my first and last initials in, that it's me. And you can do the same. Now again, I'm going to go Control S to save the file. Right, you might notice that there's a little different icon in that. And so what I'll do here is I will do a simple message out to the user. So how do you get a message to the user? Well, we can print to what's called standard output. And then I have to tell it what I want it to print. And I will print welcome to GIST 7010. All right. And notice the different colors right now. We had green up here for commenting. We've got sort of like a brick red for functions, and we have the text literal that's enclosed has a different color as well. The brackets are black. So this is some of the benefits of a integrated development environment is we have these sort of text stylings that visually tell us whether we're commenting or we're on a statement that's actually going to execute. Now again, I have a different icon because this isn't saved. Depending on your color theme, you'll see different visual cues that'll try to tell you, hey, the file's not saved yet. So I'm going to go Control S, and we can see that it's gone away. I'm then going to, the header, since I don't need it anymore, I'm going to close it. And actually, I need to click down in here. So in this mod 01 tutorial 01 hello world, I can right click on this and run file in the terminal. Now you might be wondering, which Python is it running? Down here below it tells us which environment that it's using. We have several to choose from. Base is sort of like the default install. I have some set up for big data geoprocessing, Kivy, which is a UI, and Qt, which is a UI. I can use the base right now. I'm fine with that. It has all the things that I need. If in future labs we might have to use different environments, and I will let you know either through the lab or through videos which one you should be using. So again, we're going to right click on this, and then we see run file, Python file in the terminal. We're going to see some things happen down below once the terminal opens, and it has. We can see that it has gone through and has activated the base environment, and then it went through and actually ran our script using the Python interpreter that it found. And this is the message that we see here, welcome to GST 7010, and that's a result of, in this case, line 19 being executed by the interpreter. So the big thing here is just to get used to Visual Studio. How do you change the color theme if you don't like the dark ones? There are others available. How do you set the default font size on the text editor? How do you select a particular Python environment to run your code against? And how you create these files and use the editor, and then how you can right click and have the current file that you're looking at, or whatever one you selected in the Explorer bar, to run. So for now, this concludes this video.